Welcome to my views and news. Two new stories for you. First one is from Tigray-Eritrea border, Ethiopia-Eritrea border. Some gangs are operating in border areas. What is the security situation there? Because we know that Eritrean military has withdrawn from main cities of Tigray. Question is, what is happening in border areas? Tigray, Eritrea. Now we have received some information from border areas. Alarming details are coming in from these border areas. Secondly, a top US delegation is arriving in Ethiopia to participate in African Union Summit. Ministerial session of the African Union Summit is underway. Heads of State Summit will start on the 18th of February. What are the objectives of the visit of this top US delegation? We have details for you. Firstly, viewers, the Tigray-Eritrea border, everyone wants to know, where is Eritrean military? Has it left all areas of Tigray or not? Tigray regional government is not sharing any details. It is only saying that Amhara forces, Eritrean military, they must completely withdraw from Tigray. But they are not pinpointing the areas where there is still presence of Eritrean military and Amhara forces. So that is why we've been trying to get some information, some sort of information from the border area. We know that Eritrean military left Aksum, Adwa, Shire, all main cities of Tigray a few days ago. We saw convoys of Eritrean military leaving Tigray, displaying game over banners. But in border areas, new gangs are emerging. Some are backed by Eritrean military reportedly. Now, what we have learned is that though from most border areas of Tigray, Eritrean military has withdrawn. Not from all, because if you remember 2 days ago, a Tigray official news source reported that Eritrean military soldiers were entering and leaving a Woreda close to Irob. And that the Woreda is part of Tigray. Again, border area. Now, from northwestern Tigray, from areas like Shiraro, alarming reports are being received. Eritrean military has largely withdrawn from towns like Shiraro. Shiraro was the first major town which was taken by Eritrean military when this third round of fighting started in August, ended at the start of November last year. From Shiraro, Eritrean military has withdrawn. No soldiers clad in Eritrean military uniform are being seen in Shiraro. There is small presence of Ethiopian National Defense Force in Shiraro and between Shiraro and Shire. But two types of armed factions are operating in and near Shiraro. Firstly, Damhit, TPDM, Tigray People's Democratic Movement fighters. TPDM is backed by Eritrea. We know that Eritrea has been training, arming TPDM fighters. Then for years they were being trained in Eritrea. Then in 2018 they signed a peace agreement with Ethiopian government. They returned to Ethiopia after PM Abiy came to office. They're anti-TPLF fighters, you can say. Some could be Tigrayans too. They made peace with the Ethiopian government, but in this third round of fighting, in the 2-year-long war, once again, Eritrea tried to recreate TPDM, and we have been hearing from Eritrean activists that there was no Eritrean military in Tigray last year. It was TPDM, though later it was confirmed that Eritrean military was in Tigray, which withdrew a few weeks ago. But TPDM fighters backed by Eritrean military are still operating in Tigray. In Shiraro, it is being confirmed, from Shiraro, it is being confirmed that local police station is under the control of TPDM fighters. These groups call them TPDM or Tinsai. Tinsai or TPDM, they are operating in Shiraro in control of police station. They have vehicles too, and they have communication devices like wireless sets too. They are operating not only in Shiraro but reportedly in surroundings of Shiraro too. And some disgruntled Tigray fighters are also operating in the form of small groups. Criminal elements have also joined these disgruntled groups of Tigray fighters. They split with the Tigray Defense Force when there were some issues, like they had internal problems, like their family member harassed, different issues. They split and they formed separate factions, and now they are turning into armed factions. Criminal elements have joined them as well. They're involved in robberies, in kidnapping for ransom. These groups from border areas, they move towards the cities, they kidnap people, and then they return to border areas. So that is what is happening in northwestern Tigray, on Tigray-Eritrea border. Eritrean military is not in Shiraro. Eritrean military is in Vaila Nehbi, which is in Eritrea, around 10 kilometers away from Shiraro is Eritrean military. I think Vaila Nehbi is in Eritrea, if I am not wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong. So we can say that now main responsibility lies with Ethiopian National Defense Force. Tigray police has not entered Shiraro. Tigray police is only in Shire, I think. We saw pictures of Tigray police entering Shire, Aksum, a few days ago. But there is no presence of Tigray police in Shiraro. So it's the responsibility of Ethiopian National Defense Force, federal police. They should secure the border area. They should clean Shiraro of all criminal gangs and these damn hit fighters who are allegedly backed by Eritrean army, and there could be Eritrean soldiers in the guise of damn hit fighters, because when Eritrean military was in Tigray last year in the third round of fighting, people were saying they were damn hit fighters. So it's difficult to distinguish between damn hit and Eritrean army. Responsibility lies with Ethiopian government, Ethiopian National Defense Force to clear these areas. A lot needs to be done, by the way. Just withdrawal of Eritrean military from main cities is not enough. That is why implementation of peace deal is slow. People of Tigray in one or the other form are suffering. I mean, how many are in Shiraro? How many people? Very few. A large number of people displaced from Shiraro. Those who are there, obviously, you can imagine how they are living, because armed gangs operating in the town. Let's see, will Ethiopian government try to take matters into its own hands in border areas or not? That remains to be seen. Secondly, a top US delegation is arriving in Ethiopia to participate in African Union summit. A ministerial session of the summit is underway. It started yesterday. Heads of state session will start on the 18th of February. How many heads of state will attend this summit? We'll try to update you in coming videos. From Eritrea, Osman Saleh arrived, foreign minister. Will Isas Afwerki be there? It's not very likely. Now, this US delegation will hold discussions about food security in Ethiopia, in Africa. Because when US-Africa summit was held in the US a few months ago, there US pledged support, financial support to eradicate food insecurity in Africa. Discussions will be held. Does Ethiopia need any food aid now when the government is exporting wheat? Yes, Ethiopia, millions in Ethiopia need food aid. Though government is exporting wheat, but still government is not in a position to feed all Ethiopians. So that is why Ethiopia is also a beneficiary of the food assistance announced by US a few weeks ago at US Africa Summit in Washington. We'll try to keep you updated, viewers, about this African summit underway in Ethiopia. Interesting to see how many heads of state would be here. Last time, if you remember, PM Abiy addressing last session of last year of African Summit had proposed that a continental media house of Africa should be established to highlight African issues. I don't think any development, any progress has been made. Was it just a proposal, or did Ethiopia try to have the idea implemented too? Let's see which ideas PM Abiy shared and which solutions he proposes. I think this time he'll speak about the peace agreement that Ethiopia has signed, that Ethiopia has come out of a crisis through the participation of African Union and other players. Will he make some new recommendations like last year? The recommendations could not be implemented. Let's see. Thank you for watching.